It's time for Huntingdon Bearcat basketball. Presented tonight by Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, the heart of the community. And by Penn Highlands Community College, an affordable education close to home. Tonight's Bearcat basketball game is also brought to you by All-American Pizza and Subs, Mel's Concrete, LLC, Brenneman's Meat Markets, and by Simone Family Chiropractic and Weight Loss in downtown Huntingdon. And now, with all the action of tonight's Bearcat basketball game, here's the voice of Bearcat basketball, Dave Shannon, on the airnetwork.net.
And a good evening to one and all. We're here at Huntingdon High School on another senior night being conducted tonight as cheerleaders are being recognized right now as we get set for tonight's game. Against the Central Scarlet Dragons. Central was a winner, 37-32 over the Bellefonte Red Raiders on Monday night. And the Huntingdon Bearcats pulled off a 10-point victory over Forest Hill, 78-68 in their game on Monday. Kind of an interesting one where they had an outburst third quarter, the Bearcats did, 29-10 over Forest Hills, and you wonder how Forest Hills was able to get back to within 10, and we'll talk to Coach Nick Payne about that and much more as we continue on. We'll be back and talk to the head coach after this timeout. You're listening to Huntingdon Bearcats basketball on the airnetwork.net.
Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing for affordable heating, plumbing, and drain cleaning services in Huntingdon. Count on 12 years of ensured excellent service when it comes to heating, plumbing, ventilation, and drain cleaning. Call Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing, available evenings and weekends at an affordable rate. Call 814-506-5128. That's 506-5128 for Austin Smith Heating and Plumbing in Huntingdon.
Brenneman's Meat Markets are celebrating nearly 70 years in providing Huntingdon County with quality USDA-approved processed pork, chicken, and beef products. Brenneman's has 2 locations in the county where the tradition of the finest meats are found in the region. Stop by Brenneman's Huntingdon weekdays from 8 to 6, Saturdays 8 to 3. Mount Union, open 9 to 5 weekdays and 9 to 2 on Saturdays. Choose specials of $10 to $50 meat packs containing your favorite meats. Or stop by and ask about our select custom cuts, prepared and packaged while you wait. Brenneman's Meat Markets in Huntingdon and Mount Union. Call our office at 814-643-2751 for specials and more information.
Mel's Concrete in Huntingdon has over 20 years of experience in providing you with quality concrete work. When you have any job dealing with concrete, call Mel Woomer at 643-0909. Mel's Concrete specializing in porches, patios, basements, sidewalks, and more. Mel's Concrete also specializes in snow removal. There's no job too big or too small when it comes to concrete. Call Mel's Concrete, LLC at 643-0909.
Pennsylvania Highlands Community College provides you the option to earn an associate degree, diploma, or certificate at an affordable cost. The Penn Highlands Huntingdon Center, located on Margie Drive in Huntingdon, offers degree programs in business management, criminal justice, liberal arts and sciences, and psychology. Are you ready to take the next step on your career path? Contact Penn Highlands Huntingdon at 814-643-6200 or visit Penn Highlands Community College online at pennhighlands.edu. Here
with the head coach of the Bearcats, and that, of course, is Nick Payne. Nick, it's senior night. It's always a big deal. You got one player that you're honoring, two players that'll be honored in tonight's senior ceremonies. What's it like for you as a coach when you know that this is, regular season game and a chance for you to salute those guys?
Matt Sellers is our senior, along with Andrew Watson, another senior. They just been in the program since day one, 7th grade, and just been really working hard. And it's just a great honor to, celebrate their hard work here tonight at senior night. And of course, people were asking me, why I didn't have the senior night on Friday. I said, well, Central's coming to town, so I know there's always going to be a good crowd, and we're also going to salute, Central seniors too. It's just something we've always done to say thank you to the opponent's seniors as well.
Here we go, heading into the final couple of games of the regular season. Right now, you can end up with a win tonight. You end up tied with Central as far as the conference record goes. What are the tiebreakers for the Mountain Conference?
Oh, I'm not sure about the tiebreakers. I know Clearfield won, and that's all that matters right now. They're number 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. So it doesn't matter. What we started in a couple weeks ago is looking at district playoffs and seeds and where we could end up and who would be playing. So that's more the important thing right now.
Speaking of which, you guys have won 6 in a row. That's certainly being on a roll. As a matter of fact, more so than maybe any other team in the conference except for Clearfield. What's it take to keep the kids? Do they build the confidence as they're going along to keep winning?
Yeah, I had to go back to a couple weeks ago when we played Tyrone here at home, and that kind of got us rolling. It was been quite a few years since we beat Tyrone, and then from there we just been playing really hard and knocking shots down, and it's been again a focus on defense. I was a little disappointed in the district standings that our defensive average has gone up. I told the guys we need to sneak back down with the rest of the pack. So that's always been an emphasis, and I know we can shoot. We shoot pretty well, and hopefully tonight we can keep that up. In practices, we've been going 3 games a week, so practice has been really short. I watch a little film and get shots up.
All right, a couple of the guys that stood out in Monday night's win that you had over Forest Hills, Jonathan Price, and of course Nick Rigby has been a solid performer for you all year. Talk about Nick quick, and then we can address the fact that Jonathan ended up making 4 3-pointers, I think, on Monday.
Yeah, I think we discussed Nick the last time. He's just a hard worker. He's always one of the first ones in the gym, always one of the last ones out of the gym. I actually had to kick him out at times, and his poor mother waits outside for him for half an hour. But just a solid kid, great kid all around, and he's getting out of it what he puts in it, and that's a lot of hard work, and the results are shown on the court.
And then Jonathan with his 3-point outburst there. And also another thing, too, which will get us to the end of our pregame show, but you had a big third quarter Monday, and then was there a letdown in the fourth quarter? And also talk about John Price then.
Well, Jonathan Price, we've always said that for as small as he is, he has quite a smooth jump shot from deep, and he doesn't struggle shooting the ball, and we put a lot of shots up, in the off season and during practice. So again, that's paying dividends as well. And as far as on Monday night, we had a nice 1.26 point lead, and we kind of went in. I reflected back to how we played against Central last time. We kind of went into a little bit of stall mode, and that's just not our game. We like to get up and down the court, and Central bit us a little bit, and Forest Hills is a pretty solid team themselves, and they started knocking down shots, and we were turning the ball over, not taking care of it, and we weren't hitting our foul shots. So that's a mixture of possible disaster there, but thank goodness we had a big enough lead to sustain it.
All right, well, you probably could have given the Falcons some advice on Sunday then. Anyway, Coach Payne, thanks a lot. Hopefully we get to do some more games as postseason rolls around.
I appreciate it.
And that, of course, is the head coach, Nick Payne, of the Huntingdon Bearcats. And we got thrown a bit of a curveball here because it looked as though they would do the senior ceremony and lop right into the beginning of the basketball game. Instead, they put 20 minutes up on the clock. Ticking down now to 15, so that means Greg Banks and I have some time to fill to get you up to the tip-off, and then we'll probably take a commercial break around time that they get to the national anthem. But, Greg, lots of interesting things happening on the airnetwork.net. Of course, we had Monday Night Sports Talk on Monday night, and another good show this past Monday with Jimmy Ty and me and you. One of the guys that's been missing for a while, Chad States. Give us an update on what you know about Chad.
Chad's doing okay. He's a little under the weather, but he says he's coming back soon. And, of course, he'll be following the Bearcat Wrestlers through some of the tournaments in the postseason. For instance, tomorrow, the Huntingdon Bearcat wrestlers will head down to Hershey, PA, for the state team tournament. And, of course, there we'll get some reports from, I believe it is Dustin Everhart, a former Bearcat wrestler himself. At halftime of this game, Dave, we had the chance to catch up with Coach John Mikett, who won his fourth team title in the District 6 on Saturday. So we'll talk with Coach Mikett a little bit about the upcoming postseason. Of course, last year we had a state champion, Jake Oliver, who is returning, and Huntingdon has a couple of kids, some great horses that just may make it into the state title tournament again this year individually. But this weekend, again, they're getting set to go to Hershey on Thursday to take part in the team tournament. And Coach alluded to the fact there are a couple of area and state teams that they're going to be on the lookout for. So that'll be interesting. Meanwhile, Chad State says he's doing okay. He'll be back soon. Meanwhile, the Air Network, as you know, we've been testing a frequency in Huntingdon, the FM 94.1. That is community radio, and we'll be a part of their programming. So we'll let you know as soon as that launches. But right now, tonight, for the all intents and purposes for the Bearcat Boys basketball, we have you doing that game coming up very shortly on senior night. And, of course, we'll rebroadcast this game tonight on the Air Network as we restream. And then, of course, you can always go up and listen to any of our programs, again, on demand. All you have to do is go to our front page the day after, or perhaps just pull down the it is our podcast tab, and you can listen at your heart's content. Dave, there's still stuff up there, believe it or not, that you and I did, maybe 5 years ago, when it was Thursday Night Football that we did. And I remember joining you and Tom Callahan one night for a live broadcast as you were doing television for Game of the Week with Atlantic Broadband out of Johnstown. That audio is still up there as you were doing, I believe it was a Forest Hills Conemaugh Township game or somebody, but yeah. So we have a lot of stuff up there.
The time the hurricane came through?
Well, I'm not sure if it was that time or not.
Okay, because I know we did one down there at Township.
Yeah.
And it was, wow. Yeah. I mean, I was amazed they were able to play at all.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, credit to them for the condition of the field that they were able to play.
Yeah.
And on that particular night. But I'll tell you what, that's one of the things with high school football now, since I've been around it a little more often than I was in the past, that I don't know how many times now you've had those hurricanes that seem to come up right around the weekend, right around high school football time. And, of course, it had a big effect on college football this year as well. But that being said, it's great to know that there's all of this history that's not totally lost into the universe and just bounced off into space somewhere.
And I've always said that if the day I die, I don't know the password, it'll be up there forever. You know what I mean? So it's like tonight's game and Nick Payne will be forever etched in the minds of these players, even when they're 60, 70 years old. His interview with you that you just did momentarily will be up there forever as well. So those are a couple of things happening. Of course, we follow Bearcat sports here in Huntingdon. Dave, I'm excited because you're going to be involved again in some summer baseball. We might be able to hook that up where some of our listeners will listen to the Jamestown Jammers. Now, I wanted to mention that's out of New York State. How do you make that happen, being that you're a Pennsylvania boy and then you're doing games in New York in a summer league with baseball? Man, you're a busy man.
Well, it's just kind of it's a nice, friendly coincidence that I can be in that, I'm in that vicinity anyway. I do have a camper at a campsite just outside of Erie.
Right.
It takes me about 45 minutes to get from my camp to the Jamestown baseball field, so it's not that far. All interstate highway driving.
Oh, okay.
So I can get there quickly. And then, of course, when I do the away games, the team takes me with them, so I don't have to worry about, utilizing my own vehicle to go travel with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's, everybody, bitches, moans, and complains about being on a bus, and I suppose airplanes are great. But, there's that little je ne sais quoi about riding on a bus, and you get to see things that you just normally don't get to experience. Now, sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not so much.
Hey, if it was good enough for Michael Jordan.
I love going out on the buses. Did that with St. Francis University Lady Flash
Right.
for 4 seasons. And, yeah, we did do some plane trips, but we also did a majority of bus trips.
Bus trips, yeah.
Don't mind that at all.
Hey, if that was good enough for Michael Jordan, remember when he entered into minor league baseball and he bought that nifty bus for that little farm team. But anyhow, if the bus travel is good enough for Michael, I imagine it's good enough for Dave Shannon, too, who, by the way, also did some indoor football with the Air Network many years ago. If you remember the Johnstown Generals, that was sort of an ill-fated, short-lived team out of Johnstown. But I do remember that trip you made to Cincinnati, and you were kind of excited about that one because there was some awesome history in that building, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're any kind of a St. Francis fan, you know about the Maurice Stokes going to Cincinnati and playing. And
for the Royals,
a very long career with the Cincinnati Royals, but he was there.
Yeah.
And you certainly do remember, and everybody does, and Maurice Stokes is buried on the campus of St. Francis University. So that meant a lot there just to be in that building. And it's always great to see old edifices and how they're doing today, the way they're treated. Cincinnati has certainly taken care of that particular auditorium where the Royals did play basketball. To that end, traveling with the Jamestown Jammers, the Elmira Pioneers has been a team that's been around back to the days of Babe Ruth.
Really? Wow.
Babe Ruth managed a team
Yeah.
at Elmira years ago.
Yeah.
And they do have some black and whites that are blown up and part of the concourse area there. And at Dunfield in Elmira, New York. And it's a grand old lady. It's most of the seats, most all of the seats are covered by a roof.
Oh, man. Reminds me of sort of like the old days at the Point Stadium in Johnstown. Basically, everything covered by a roof.
Yeah, there are some.
And the Babe even played there.
Nice little symmetric outfield, so they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But Dunfield, great place to go. They put about 4,000, between 4 and 5 a night into Dunfield in Elmira, so that's a great place to go.
Oh, fantastic.
Just part of that je ne sais quoi, the nuance.
All right, see, if I spoke your language, I know what you're talking about, but it sounds cool to me. If I could hit a couple of chicks with that, I'd probably be able to go out and have a good time. But Dave Shannon live from Huntingdon High School tonight as we await the Bearcats taking on the Scarlet Dragons of Central. Dave, how much time do you have on the clock right now? Because I may want to do something here if we have a little bit of time. We mentioned Coach John Mikett. We'll roll that. How about we roll that now, and then we also roll it at halftime? That way we'll chew up a little bit of time for those people that might just be waiting for this big game between Huntingdon and Central, huh?
Okay, we got 6.5 on the clock, so if you want to roll it, we can do it.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Greg Banks in the
right.
studios at theairnetwork.net, and I've got Bearcat head wrestling coach John Mikett on the line with me. Coach, amazing season this year thus far. You guys won the district team title over the weekend in Tyrone. Congratulations on that as you get poised to head down to Hershey for the team title for the states. How you guys feeling, and how you faring this week in practice?
We're feeling great, Greg. I'm super proud of my guys. They had a great weekend. It was a total team effort winning that District 6 title, and we've been working hard this week in preparation for a trip down to Hershey, and we're looking forward to it a great deal.
I know you haven't had a chance to think about it, but this is your fourth team title in the district. As you look forward to Hershey now, what are you looking forward to in terms of the team lineup, the roster, and who are some of the teams that we're going to be watching for down in Hershey?
We're just looking forward to getting down there and wrestling some of the best competitions in the state of Pennsylvania. We're focused right now on Wyalusing. We get them at 2 o'clock on Thursday in the Giant Center, so we'll know there'll be a tall task for sure. But we're looking forward to that match and getting guys ready to go and just excited to get down there and see how we fare.
Any of the teams that are heading to Hershey, along with the Bearcats from Huntingdon, as you head down to the state tournament in Hershey, are any of these teams familiar to you? Have you wrestled them, like, say, at King of the Mountain, maybe, or some of the other tournaments that you've done?
Yeah, absolutely. You see a lot of the same teams year after year because they have good programs. Wyalusing, those kids were up at King of the Mountain, so we saw them up there. Bishop McDevitt is another school from District 3. They were at King of the Mountain, so we ran into a couple of their guys up there. And you see a lot of the same teams down there at states like Reynolds is always tough. They got a great program. They're down there. Chestnut Ridge is there from District 5. So a lot of really good quality teams that we see throughout the year be down there as well.
If I remember correctly, Chestnut Ridge was sort of like your adversary last year in the state tournament. This year, do your wrestlers actually maybe scout some of these guys, or the fact that they wrestled them before maybe set up some strategy this week as they're wrestling in the wrestling room, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I mean, yeah, we wrestled Chestnut Ridge last year in the Concy round, and they were the guys that knocked us out of the state tournament last year. And, it's fairly close school. It's not that far away. And we wrestle them sometimes. We had a scrimmage with them at the beginning of the year. So, we know what their guys have, and they kind of know what we have. So, it's kind of a, double-edged sword there. We both know what each other has. So it comes down to basically you got to go out and you got to wrestle hard, and stay in position and get out and get after it. And that's what we're going to do over the weekend. Coach
John Mike, and by the way, an interview that you'll hear at halftime here on the airnetwork.net as we get set for Huntingdon basketball as they take on the Scarlet Dragons of Central. Dave Shannon standing by live from Huntingdon High School this evening, where he'll have all the action of the game for you. Dave, and I don't know where we're at on the clock, but we'll play the rest of that interview coming up at halftime tonight with John Mike, the coach of the Huntingdon Bearcat Wrestling Squad. He's got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's a great interview, and Bearcat Wrestling fans, I saw some of the guys get ready to go. Some of the discussion around the scorers table here in the junior varsity game centered around the fact that the wrestling team was heading to Hershey.
Yeah.
So, it's there's a lot of awareness of that going on here at Huntingdon High School tonight in the gymnasium. By the way, it's one of the things that you talk about. I more so today than what I think it was ever done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the programs and where they stand at the high school level and then what goes on in the underclasses beneath. Well, Here's the Huntingdon boys, 57-31 with a win over Central earlier here tonight. Not unlike the Lady Cats, who their JV team and their junior high team have been really lighting it up here in the games that I've seen prior to the varsity games. So we got to tip our cap to the Lady Cats. And I think the Lady Cats next season, based on what I saw, and they are losing one valuable senior starter, but I think next season that's going to be a team to be reckoned with in the Mountain Conference and in District 6. So coming up here tonight, Andrew Watson, Matthew Sellers, the two seniors that were honored prior to tonight's game. And they, of course, are starters for Nick Payne in tonight's game. We got a minute and a half left on the scoreboard clock. I think we have enough commercials to fill that. We'll come back, give you the starting lineups, and get ready to tip this one off from Huntingdon High School. You're listening to Huntingdon Bearcats basketball, and it's coming up next on the airnetwork.net.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community. Becoming a member of the Huntingdon Moose enables you to join friends who have served the community for over 100 years. Join the women of the Moose for a ham pot pie dinner on Saturday, February 11th from 2 until 6 p.m. Then stick around for our St. Valentine's rock and roll dance with Backlash. Plus, check out our Friday food specials every Friday this month. The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, serving the community with the best value in town.
It's a brand new year, so start it off right by shedding those pounds and living a healthy lifestyle. Call Dr. Michael Simone at Simone Family Chiropractic and Weight Loss at 613 Washington Street, downtown Huntingdon, for a proven safe way to shed those extra pounds. Dr. Simone utilizes the doctor-supervised Chiro Thin weight loss program that helps you lose significant weight without exercise, expensive prepackaged foods, or diet shakes. It's real food with real results. Try the Chiro Thin plan on your way to a healthier you by calling Dr. Simone for a free consultation. Call 643-2616 for a happier you.
And we're back at Huntingdon High School getting ready for the tip-off of tonight's game between the Bearcats and the Scarlet Dragons of Central. And in answer to Greg Banks' question, that's the same Reggie Nevins that you have known for years, who is coaching that Scarlet Dragon
I thought Reggie
basketball
retired years ago. My goodness.
Nope, did not. Still there.
God love him. Good luck.
Yeah, getting ready for the national anthem. We might as well bring that to you here tonight. They're going to do that before they introduce the starters. We'll give you the starters and their numbers coming up as well. Right now, the national anthem from Huntingdon High School.
And now we'd like to introduce the HCC program and Dawn Lynn.
Thank you. I just want to take a minute and recognize the HCC athletes that we have with us this evening down here in the corner. They're here to support the boys. This is the second year that the community center has partnered with the high school basketball programs. We have over 220 children participating in grades 1 through 6, so that's fantastic. I'd just like to take a minute to thank the school district, Coach Payne and his staff, the high school players, the community center, coaches, parents, and players. We're here tonight to show our support because they've been supporting us all season. So one more round of applause, please, for the HCC athletes.
Okay, now would you please remain standing to the playing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see what so proudly we bear as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars run and roll on skies o'er the ramparts we hold, and strokes of gallantry streaming. And the rockets tremble, the bombs burst in air, if through the night that our flags will still bear. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner wave?
And there you have it, national anthem from Huntingdon High School, getting ready for the start of tonight's game between the Central Scarlet Dragons and the Huntingdon Bearcats. Central Scarlet Dragons come in with a conference mark of 9-4 on the season, and the Bearcats have the 8-5 mark. So a win by the Bearcats, and they have identical records with Central. But as you heard Coach Payne mention, he doesn't really care about that. All he knows is Clearfield's 12-1, and they won the Mountain Conference. The Central Scarlet Dragons here tonight dressed all in red, tops and bottoms, white stripes on the shorts. They have numbers in white, dragons across the front, and the Cincinnati Red C above the numbers on the back of their uniforms, and they are being introduced right now. Here are their starters in case you want to keep score at home, or even if you're alone. It is Preston Carstetter for Central. He wears number 1. Josh McKnight, he wears number 5. Jacob Mutler wears number 11. Kyle Dodson wears number 24. And Brandon Buchart wearing number 42. That is the 5th starter for Reggie Nevins. Central Scarlet Dragons coming in with that 9-4 mark. For the Huntingdon Bearcats tonight, and Nick Payne, it is number 0, Jayton Smith. Also number 2, Jonathan Price. Number 5, Andrew Watson, one of the seniors honored before tonight's game. Number 13, Matthew Sellers, as he's just being introduced there on the floor, one of the seniors as well. And number 35, Nick Rigby. And it's kind of funny there with Andrew Watson. Keep hearing the name, you know, and it's like being in one of those IBM commercials. They keep saying, Watson. So, at any rate, Andrew Watson, a little better shooter than what Watson from IBM is, from what I've been told. So, coming up at halftime, we'll continue that interview with the wrestling head coach of the Huntingdon Bearcats. That's going to be good. You'll want to catch the rest of that as they head off to Hershey. Of course, weather coming in tonight, but that has not affected the crowd. A great crowd on hand here at Huntingdon High School as the 8-5 Bearcats in the conference get set to go. Bearcats, by the way, 6 wins in a row and 13-7 overall. Clearfield at 12-1 in the conference and 20-1 overall. At the midcourt circle, Nick Rigby jumping for the Huntingdon Bearcats, and it's Brandon Buchart up for the Central Dragons, and it's Rigby winning the toss and goes back to Jayton Smith. Jayton Smith passes it over to Matthew Sellers on the left wing, back to Smith, dribbles out near the midcourt circle now, passes over on the right side to Jonathan Price. Price goes inside, and Matthew Sellers comes back out for a three, taken by Nick Rigby, doesn't go, rebound Dragons. Preston Carstetter pulls down the board. Jacob Mootler brings it up over the midcourt strike. 7:29 left to go, first quarter, no score in the game. Dragons with the basketball. Kyle Dodson passes it off, driving to the hoop and missing Brandon Buchart. Buchart gets the rebound, kicks it out to Preston Carstetter, and a whistle blows. And a foul is called on Jonathan Price, his first and team's first. And that'll be an inbound underneath the Scarlet Dragons basket. Inbounding the ball, Jacob Mootler gets it into Preston Carstetter over on the right wing. A long three, Jacob Mootler hits, and Central takes a 3-0 lead in the game. Bearcats with the basketball. Matthew Sellers kicks it out. Nick Rigby, top of the key, passes over on the left elbow. Sellers takes a three and misses, and the Dragons have the rebound. Down the floor, Jacob Mootler drives down the lane, puts one up off the glass, no good. Rebound comes back out. Kyle Dodson with the ball out at the top of the key and then passes off to Jacob Mootler, who comes out near the midcourt circle to set up the play. Passes over on the left wing, down the lane, putting up the little runner, but Dodson won't go, and the rebound fought for, and they end up calling a hold. And that certainly looked to me to be a jump ball, and the official waves Nick Payne over toward the bench. The foul called on the shot. It's going to be Josh McKnight at the line. The foul, by the way, on Matthew Sellers, his first and team's second. Now the teams get set up. A lot of confusion going on here. Now we got everything set. Josh McKnight with his first free throw of 2, and he makes the first one. Substitution into the game. Andrew Watson comes out, and into the game goes Owen Lane. Josh McKnight puts up the second one, rolls off the rim, no good, 4-0. Central with the lead, 6.5 left to go in the first quarter. With the basketball, Jayton Smith dribbles on the right wing, and a quick exchange between he and Jonathan Price, eventually trying to go down on the baseline to Matthew Sellers. The ball goes off of one of the Scarlet Dragons and out of bounds. Kyle Dodson looking to inbound and does not get it in. It's taken away. Up the floor is Brandon Buchart, and eventually gets it back as Jacob Mootler brings it up the floor. Mootler goes to Dodson on the left wing, moves over to the left elbow, and then the ball gets battered around down in the floor. Josh McKnight turns and makes his shot just off the key, and it's 6-0 in favor of Central. Bearcats yet to dent the scoreboard. 3-point attempt from the top of the key. It's Jayton Smith, and Bearcats are on the board. 6-3 the score now as Mootler brings the ball over the midcourt stripe. Mootler over on the right wing to Preston Carstetter, then into the right corner to Buchart, back to Mootler, then to Dodson. Mootler, right wing shot up, no good, tipped around, rebound, pulled in, Nick Rigby. Rigby up over the midcourt stripe, passes ahead to Jonathan Price. Price starts down toward the lane, pulls back over in the right wing. Now out between the circles, look to go down the lane, no opening there. Kicks it back. Jayton Smith out at the midcourt area there, inside the circle, passes over. Nick Rigby on the right wing. Rigby passes over. Jonathan Price makes a move toward the basket, stops around the baseline, almost traveled, gets it back to Rigby, nothing called. And down the key and putting up a little layup is Nick Rigby. And that makes it a 6-5 Central lead. First quarter and 4:50 left to go in it. Trying to get their 7th win in a row are the Huntingdon Bearcats. Kyle Dodson with the basketball goes to Mootler, over to Preston Carstetter. A long three from the left wing. It is up and it is good. And it's 9-5 in favor of the Scarlet Dragons. Jonathan Price dribbles, kicks it out into the midcourt circle to Jayton Smith. Smith back to Price. Price goes down in the baseline, and a pass that's intended for Jayton Smith from Matthew Sellers goes awry, goes out of bounds, and they say it goes to the Scarlet Dragons. Inbounding is Carstetter to Mootler. Jacob Mootler up over the midcourt stripe now. Passes over to Dodson on the left wing. Dodson back to Mootler. Mootler with a long three from the left wing. He hits. It's raining threes for the Central Scarlet Dragons. With the ball, it's Matt Sellers. Sellers with a three-point. He has an answer. Central 12, Bearcats 8. 3:47 left to go in the first quarter. Kyle Dodson over to Jacob Mootler. Mootler on the left wing, tipped out of bounds by John Price. Jonathan getting his hand in there to interrupt the flow of things for the Scarlet Dragons. Inbounding goes Mootler to Dodson. They play catch. Dodson out between the circles right now. Over to Carstetter near us here. We're beside the Huntingdon bench tonight. Dragons moving left to right here in the first half. Pass goes inside in the key. Dodson puts a layup up. Gets a fortuitous about 5 bounces as it falls down through the cylinder. 14-8, Central with the lead. 3-point attempt up from the left wing. Jayton Smith hits another. 14-11, Central with the lead over the Bearcats. Kyle Dodson between the circles goes in to Josh McKnight. Back out to Dodson, tries to get it to Mootler. Mootler has trouble because of the good defense by Jonathan Price, and the ball rolls out of bounds off of Mootler. It'll be Bearcats ball. 14-11, Central's led the game the entire length of it so far. 2:56 left to go in the first quarter. With the basketball, Jayton Smith going to Matt Sellers, comes back out. Jonathan Price starts down the lane, pulls back up to the top of the key, starts down again, kicks it over, and a nice little jumper by Owen Lane. Lane puts it up and in, and it's 14-13 in favor of Central. Jacob Mootler up over the midcourt stripe for the Dragons, kicks it over in front of us here. Preston Carstetter back over to Mootler now on the left wing, going to take a deep three and make it. The Bearcats need to come up with some D for those deep threes. 17-13 right now. Nice pass to Nick Rigby from Owen Lane, and Rigby makes the layup to make it 17-15. Bearcats are keeping pace. Here's another three, though, from the right wing, and this time it's Preston Carstetter putting up another three. 20-15 in favor of the Scarlet Dragons. 3-point attempt from deep out near the midcourt circle by Jonathan Price. Won't go, and the rebound comes down to Carstetter, who gets it to Mootler, who's over the midcourt stripe now. Bearcats tonight dressed in their home whites, blue numbers trimmed in red. With the basketball, Kyle Dodson down the lane, kicks it over, and as he drove down the lane, he knocked down Owen Lane and is called for the offensive foul. That's the first for Kyle Dodson and the first for the Scarlet Dragons. Minute 25 left to go, first quarter, 20-15. Central with the lead. Jayton Smith out near the midcourt circle, kicks it to Owen Lane. Lane gets it to Nick Gerhardt in the game now for the Bearcats. Over to Rigby. Rigby kicks it back over. Three-point attempt from the left wing. It's up and in. Mootler bumped in to Jayton Smith. There could have been a foul called there, but there was not. 20-18. Bearcats within a couple. Under a minute left to go here in quarter number one. Ball kicked out. Kyle Dodson goes to Jacob Mootler. Mootler almost traveled, but he does put up a long one at the top of the key, and it will not go. Bearcats with time here. 41 seconds left, first quarter. Down the lane and kicking it back out is Rigby as he kicks it out. Matthew Sellers hits that one, and the Bearcats take the lead. 21-20. Three-pointer goes for Matt Sellers, making it an even more memorable senior night here at Huntingdon High School. Clock ticking down, and the Dragons appear to be content to go for a basket that would put them up by one. It's going to be a three. They might be up by two. It doesn't go. Rebound comes down to Nick Gerhardt. They try to get it up the floor, and a foul is called on the Scarlet Dragons with 3.5 seconds left to go. Foul called on Kyle Dodson, his second, team second. Quickly into the game is Jonathan Price, had come out for a second or two, and Owen Lane goes back to the bench. Inbounding will be Nick Gerhardt. Gets it into Smith. Smith over the midcourt stripe. Nice pass over on the rim. Rigby with the shot from the wing will not go, but the Bearcats come from behind. They were trailing. Now they're ahead. At the end of one quarter here at Huntingdon High School, the score, Bearcats 21 and the Scarlet Dragons 20. Back with more after this on the airnetwork.net.
Grab the Big Kahuna, the 24 square cut pizza with your choice of one topping for only $19.99. Now at All American Pizza and Subs at 612 Washington Street, downtown Huntingdon. All American Pizza and Subs has delivery, and they're the home of great pizza, subs, salad, wings, and more for lunch, dinner, or a late night snack. Call All American Pizza and Subs right now at 643-0222. Closed Mondays. All American Pizza and Subs. Like us on Facebook.
It's a brand new year, so starting off right by shedding those pounds and living a healthy lifestyle. Call Dr. Michael Simone at Simone Family Chiropractic and Weight Loss at 613 Washington Street, downtown Huntingdon, for a proven, safe way to shed those extra pounds. Dr. Simone utilizes the doctor-supervised Chiro Thin weight loss program that helps you lose significant weight without exercise, expensive prepackaged foods, or diet shakes. It's real food with real results. Try the Chiro Thin plan on your way to a healthier you by calling Dr. Simone for a free consultation. Call 643-2616 for a happier you.
Back at Huntingdon High School as we begin the second quarter of action. Central with a possession arrow inbounds it, and they have the ball in their end. Deep from the left corner, no signal. It must be a two, as that one goes up and in for Casey Walters. 22-21. Central up by one. Down the lane, it's Rigby. Rigby tries to lay it up. Coaching staff wants a foul called that his arm got knocked into. And as a matter of fact, he just addressed that with the official going by. He says you have to call something. 22-21, Central leads, dribbling the basketball way over in the left wing on the far side was Mootler. He ends up falling down, and the foul gets called on the Bearcats' Nick Rigby. Nick picking up his first, team third, and an inbound play for the Scarlet Dragons. Looking to inbound, Josh McKnight. McKnight ends up having the ball go off of Nick Rigby and out of bounds, so the Dragons will give it a try again. Underneath their basket, Jacob Mootler to inbound this time. Mootler looks around, goes out, at the top of the key, Joey Smith takes it. Smith just into the game for the Dragons, and tight defense from Jonathan Price ends up in a foul being called on him against Jacob Mootler. Price picking up his second and team fourth now. Very little time off the clock so far here in the second quarter. 7:10 left to go in at 22-21. Scarlet Dragons with the lead. Ball in the right corner. They go down into Josh McKnight. Turning, jump shot in the lane, won't go. And a shot attempt's rejected by Owen Lane. Bearcats down the floor. Looked like they might score in a quick layup. Instead, it's a deep three. That one won't go. Ball comes back out. Jonathan Price tries another three and sinks that one. 24-22. Bearcats up by a pair. 6:36 left to go. Second quarter with the basketball. Joey Smith to Jacob Mootler. Comes off the left wing and out into the middle of the court. Tries to go for a backdoor pass. Down to Brandon Buchart. And Buchart was in one spot. The ball was headed somewhere else, and it goes out of bounds. Bearcats ball. Into the game, Nick Gerhardt. And out of the game, it's Jonathan Price. 6:28 left to go. Quarter number 2 and a 24-22 Bearcats lead. Jayton Smith brings it up over the midcourt stripe. Kicks it over left wing to Rigby. Rigby going to Owen Lane. And he bumps into one of the Dragons, Brandon Buchart. Come on, Owen! And the ball goes out of bounds, and it'll just be off the hands of Owen Lane. No fouls on that play. 6:10 left to go in the second quarter. Scarlet Dragons with the basketball, trailing by a pair. Dribbling across between the circles. Karstetter gets it to Mootler. Jacob Mootler backs into the midcourt circle now. Steps back up between the circles. Faked the shot. Pulls it back down, looking to pass. Gets it over to Karstetter in front of us, and then over to Joey Smith. Smith down on the baseline. And then it makes its way over for a three attempt by Karstetter. Won't go. Rebound. Cats. Nick Rigby with the basketball. Jayton Smith goes to Matt Sellers, and then over for a three-point attempt by Nick Gerhardt. It won't go. A one and done for the Bearcats, and the Dragons will bring the ball back up the court. 24-22, still the score. Bearcats lead with 5:20 left to go in the second quarter. Mootler goes to Joey Smith, drives down the left side of the lane, lays it up, and gets his points. His first points of the night, as a matter of fact. 24-24, we're tied. Matt Sellers with a baseline jumper for two. There was some hope that might have been a three, but it was not. 26-24, Bearcats up by a pair. Jacob Mootler to Joey Smith. Back to Mootler. Down into the right corner to Brandon Buchart. Now Joey Smith down the lane, left side, blocked shot, but a foul. We'll see who this is called on. Foul called on Matt Sellers. That'll be his second. And team fifth. And that will send to the line Joey Smith. Just picked up his first points with a jump shot earlier there in the lane. And he makes that foul shot. Number of subs into the game for the Bearcats here. 4:41 left first half. And a 26-25 Bearcat lead. Number of subs into the game for Central as well. Joey Smith's second free throw off the back of the rim, and the rebound is pulled in by Buchart. Ball goes over on the left wing. A three attempted and won't go for Hunter Leibel. Bearcats with the basketball. Nick Gerhardt goes down the right side of the lane, kicks it out on the right wing, then heading down the lane. Rigby kicks it back out. Three-point attempt won't go for Jackson Ritchie. Rebound Central. 4:10 left to go, second quarter. 26-25, Bearcats up by one. Joey Smith with the basketball. Starts down the right side of the lane. Tries to make a pass, and it kicks off the hands of its intended receiver, so to speak, Kyle Dodson. Bearcats ball. Just under 4 minutes left to go in the second quarter. 26-25, Bearcats with the lead. Jonathan Price pulls back near that midcourt circle now, starts down the lane, stops at the foul line, puts up a jumper, won't go. Rebound, Bearcats, layup up and in. Will Selesky with his first points of the night. 28-25, Cats up by three now. With the basketball, it's Kyle Dodson. Gets over the midcourt stripe. And Reggie Nevins, the head coach of the Central Scarlet Dragons, calls a 30-second timeout. Time for us to tell you about Bearcat Sports broadcasts on the airnetwork.net, presented by Huntingdon Moose Family Center, number 223, and by Pennsylvania Highlands Community College. Other supporters of tonight's broadcast include All-American Pizza and Subs, Mel's Concrete LLC, Dr. Michael Simone, and by Brenneman's Meat Markets. Thanks for listening to Bearcat Sports exclusively on the airnetwork.net. We'll be returning as well for activities on the FM side of the broadcast dial. Stay tuned. Greg Banks will keep you up to date on that. Sitting now with 3:33, which if you're into ghost hunting is one of those witching hours. I know that because I've gone out ghost hunting before. All right, enough of that. Let's get back to hoops, shall we? Kyle Dodson with the basketball between the circles, plays catch with Mootler. Goes down into the right corner. Smith kicks it back out. Mootler, top of the key for three. Won't go. Rebound Central. Nice play. Karstetter with the rebound. Passes inside to Dodson. Kisses it off the glass. 28-27. Bearcats still up by one. 3-point attempt for the Bearcats won't go. Attempted by Jackson Ritchie. And then the ball down on the floor, and it's a held ball, and it will go to the Bearcats on the possession arrow. Inbounding the ball for the Cats, Jackson Ritchie. And he gets it in to Jayton Smith. Smith dribbles, right wing. Tries one from the right elbow, won't go. Ball gets tipped around by the Dragons, and the Bearcats end up with it. Nick Gerhardt with the basketball to Smith. Then over to Nick Rigby down the lane. Tries a hook shot, won't go. Rebound, it was a held ball. Awful quick whistle there on that held ball, but that's what was called, and the possession arrow going to the Scarlet Dragons. Bearcats 28, Central 27. 2:40 left to go in the first half. Kyle Dodson with the basketball to Karstetter, right in front of me here in the right wing. Kicks it over, and coming off the left wing now is Jacob Mootler. Mootler goes to Dodson. Dodson starts down the lane. They're going to call a block on Jackson Ritchie.
1-4. Here. 6-2.
Ritchie will pick up his first, and that'll be team sixth. And head coach Nick Payne complaining about the disparity in the fouls, pointing out to the referee that there's been 6 called on the Bearcats to only 2 for the Central Scarlet Dragons. Kyle Dodson makes the first of 2 from the foul line. And Nick Payne gets shooed down further down the sideline in front of his bench. 28-29 as Central takes the lead with those 2 foul shots made by Kyle Dodson. Bearcats with the basketball and a turnover. Joey Smith with it now for Central, gets it to Kyle Dodson. He'll bring it up the floor and over the midcourt stripe. Dodson starts down the left side of the lane, kicks it out to Joey Smith on the left wing. Back out to Dodson between the circles. Looks for somebody to come open. Ends up going to McKnight. Whistle blows. Away from the ball, I do believe there's a foul called. And that's called on Will Selesky, and that's his first and team 7th. And so that'll send the Scarlet Dragons to the line for one-on-one action. Substitution for the Dragons as Brandon Buchart comes in and Josh McKnight goes out. Back into the game for the Dragons as well, Hunter Leibold. Joey Smith is at the line to shoot the one-on-one. Also back into the game for the Cats, Owen Lane. Smith misses the first one, and what a box out by Karstetter. Going down the lane, great passing by Central, and a pause underneath on a layup attempt by Hunter Leibold. Backfires, and the Bearcats end up coming away with the basketball. And a quick foul called on Preston Karstetter of the Dragons. That'll be his first and team 3rd. Out of the game for the Bearcats, Nick Gerhardt. Into the game, Philip Keller. Coming out of the game is Will Selesky. Inbounding the ball in front of the scorer's table at midcourt. Jonathan Price into his buddy Jayton Smith. Smith dribbles, top of the key, takes a three, won't go. Rebound is pulled down by Leibel. And here come the Scarlet Dragons over the midcourt stripe. Jacob Mootler, guarded by Jayton Smith. Smith, a little bit of a pick there, but Smith continues on and plays the pick. And going down the lane and looking to pass was Jacob Mootler. Nobody to pass to, and he was trying to make a play for a foul, but the ball went out off of him. And it'll be Bearcats basketball back into the game quickly. Short rest for Josh McKnight of the Central Scarlet Dragons. Bringing the ball up the floor, Jayton Smith with a minute left to go here in the first half, and a 29-28 Central lead. Trying to get the ball down on the baseline to Philip Keller was Jayton Smith. It ends up being an errant pass. It goes out of bounds to the Scarlet Dragons. Trying to get back into the game was Kyle Dodson, too late. Yep, it's going to be in time now, quickly out of the game under Leibel. So another quick rest as both McKnight and Dodson get quick breathers, and I mean quick breathers over there in the Dragons bench. Now under a minute left to go. First half and a 29-28 Central lead. Jacob Mootler with the basketball to Kyle Dodson. Dodson comes out between the circles. Mootler goes back over in the left wing, starts down it, kicks it back out around midcourt to Dodson. Then the ball goes into the right corner to Joey Smith. Mootler goes over in the left wing. Down the lane, it's Karstetter, and a foul is called on Nick Rigby of the Bearcats. Nick picking up his second and team eighth, and heading to the line is Preston Karstetter. Quickly out of the game. There's some strange things going on here with the Central guys. Obviously, they have offensive and defensive substitutions going on, and they brought Hunter Leibel back in. And on the one-on-one, Karstetter makes the first. 30-28. Scarlet Dragons with the lead. Preston Karstetter's second shot is up and through. And it is now 31-28. Three-point lead for the Scarlet Dragons as the Bearcats bring it over the midcourt stripe. Jayton Smith dribbles right wing, hands it off. Jonathan Price comes out now between the circles. Plenty of time. 20 seconds now left to go in the first half. A spinning move as he was headed down toward the baseline in an attempted pass to Philip Keller by Jonathan Price, and it ends up just going harmlessly out of bounds, and it'll be Scarlet Dragons basketball. Some changes for the Bearcats, as getting a rest is Nick Rigby, a well-deserved rest, I might add. And Jonathan Price gets a break as well. Down under 10 seconds left to go. Dodson to Mootler. Back to Dodson. Starts down the right side of the lane. Kicks it back out. Joey Smith, a deep three from the left wing, won't go. And the battle for the rebound will bring an end to the first half. Some pretty entertaining stuff from time to time, and a little bit of a fiery coach as Nick Payne not too happy with the officiating here in the first half. The score is 31-28 in favor of the Scarlet Dragons. Very competitive game, and the kind of thing you would expect from a team that's 9-4 taking on a team that's 8-5. Central coming in at 9-4 and an 8-5 mark for the Bearcats. Greg Banks has some interesting talk with the Bearcats wrestling coach, John Mikan. Coming up next, District 6 team champions heading to Hershey tomorrow to prepare for the state team title this weekend. We'll get to that coming up. We'll take a commercial timeout as well. We're at halftime, and the score, Central 31, Bearcats 28 on the airnetwork.net.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community. Becoming a member of the Huntingdon Moose enables you to join friends who have served the community for over 100 years. Join the women of the Moose for a ham pot pie dinner on Saturday, February 11th from 2 until 6 p.m. Then stick around for our St. Valentine's rock and roll dance with Backlash. Plus, check out our Friday food specials every Friday this month. The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, serving the community with the best value in town.
Pennsylvania Highlands Community College provides you the option to earn an associate degree, diploma, or certificate at an affordable cost. The Penn Highlands Huntingdon Center, located on Margie Drive in Huntingdon, offers degree programs in business management, criminal justice, liberal arts and sciences, and psychology. Are you ready to take the next step on your career path? Contact Penn Highlands Huntingdon at 814-643-6200 or visit Penn Highlands Community College online at pennhighlands.edu.
Greg Banks in the studios at theairnetwork.net, and I've got Bearcat head wrestling coach John Mikett on the line with me. Coach, amazing season this year thus far. You guys won the district team title over the weekend in Tyrone. Congratulations on that as you get poised to head down to Hershey for the team title for the states. How you guys feeling and how you faring this week in practice?
We're feeling great, Greg. I'm super proud of my guys. They had a great weekend. It was a total team effort winning that District 6 title, and we've been working hard this week in preparation for a trip down to Hershey, and we're looking forward to it a great deal.
I know you haven't had a chance to think about it, but this is your fourth team title in the district. As you look forward to Hershey now, what are you looking forward to in terms of the team lineup, the roster, and who are some of the teams that we're going to be watching for down at Hershey?
We're just looking forward to getting down there and wrestling some of the best competitions in the state of Pennsylvania. We're focused right now on Wyalusing. We get them at 2 o'clock on Thursday in the Giant Center, so we'll know there'll be a tall task for sure. But we're looking forward to that match and, getting guys ready to go and just excited to get down there and see how we fare.
Any of the teams that are heading to Hershey, along with the Bearcats from Huntingdon, as you head down to the state tournament in Hershey, are any of these teams familiar to you? Have you wrestled them, like, say, at King of the Mountain, maybe, or some of the other tournaments that you've done?
Yeah, absolutely. You see a lot of the same teams year after year because they have good programs. Wyalusing, those kids were up at King of the Mountain, so we saw them up there. Bishop McDevitt is another school from District 3. They were at King of the Mountain, so we ran into a couple of their guys up there. And you see a lot of the same teams down there at states, like Reynolds is always tough. They got a great program. They're down there. Chestnut Ridge is there from District 5. So a lot of really good quality teams that we see throughout the year be down there as well.
If I remember correctly, Chestnut Ridge was sort of like your adversary last year in the state tournament. This year, do your wrestlers actually maybe scout some of these guys, or the fact that they wrestled them before maybe set up some strategy this week as they're wrestling in the wrestling room, Coach?
Yeah, certainly. We wrestled Chestnut Ridge last year in the Concy round, and they were the guys that knocked us out of the state tournament last year. And, it's fairly close school. It's not that far away. We wrestled them sometimes. We had a scrimmage with them at the beginning of the year. So, we know what their guys have, and they kind of know what we have. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword there. We both know what each other has. So it comes down to basically you got to go out and you got to wrestle hard, and stay in position and get out and get after it. And, and that's what we're going to do over the weekend here. So
I know that you're probably pretty busy throughout the year. I know you got football and then wrestling, and that's really a priority, and your kids are out wrestling all season long. Have you ever had a chance, really, Coach, to sit back and think about the amazing things that you've been able to do, you and your coaching staff, over the last, let's say, decade at Huntingdon High School, and how far you've brought in this program, actually from like the early beginnings of Elwood Reese? You are the guy that really, someday you're going to sit down and probably write a book, right?
I guess, maybe. I don't know. I'm not much of a writer.
Yeah, okay. Well, somebody will probably be better. Somebody will be the ghost author for you, but go ahead.
Right, but no, I'm super proud of the things that we've accomplished, and it's certainly more than about me. We've had a lot of great families come through our program. The kids and the parents are great. It's an awesome community, and my coaching staff is second to none. I believe they're the best coaching staff in the state of Pennsylvania. And, so, we just, We care about our kids. We try to treat the program that we have here like a family. It's a family atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done that from the start, and things have kind of, snowballed, I guess, so to speak, and everybody wants to be part of something. And once you get the ball rolling, each group that follows the one before doesn't want to be the one that, leaves off the pedal, so to speak, so.
Yeah.
But, I'm proud. I'm proud of what we've accomplished. There's no question about it.
I think that's kind of cool. The tradition actually continues, and certainly you've left a legacy in the minds of a lot of the wrestlers that you've impacted. You're actually, I guess the best way to say you're developing young men into, of course, becoming the leaders of tomorrow, if you really look at it. I talked to a young guy the other day. He had nothing but great things to say about you, Coach. Dustin Everhart did a wonderful job doing a report for us. And he, of course, was just one of the many guys who, of course, had the same sentiments about their coach, John Mikas. So we wish you the best of luck. As you head into the Hershey tournament coming up on Thursday night, any great expectations? Because you also have district, individuals coming up later on this weekend as well, correct?
Well, individuals will be the next weekend.
It'll
be the next following weekend at Altoona. But, we're focused right now on this team tournament down there in Hershey. And, we'll just take it one match at a time. Like I said, we're focused on Wyalusing right now. And we'll get out and get after it on Thursday and see what happens. And we'll just go from there. So regardless, I'm really proud of my guys. And I know they're going to battle, win or lose. So. All
right, Coach. Well, it gives it back to the coaching staff. I know that you want to give a lot of props to your coaching staff as well. It starts early on as these kids are real young, and we wish you the best of luck in Hershey, but I hope that we get a chance to talk to you before you head to the individuals coming up next week.
Yeah, that's at the Altoona Fieldhouse.
All right.
Absolutely.
Hey, well, the best of luck. Thank you, Coach, for joining us here on the Air Network.
Hey, thanks, Greg. I appreciate it.
Brenneman's Meat Markets are celebrating nearly 70 years in providing Huntingdon County with quality USDA-approved processed pork, chicken, and beef products. Brenneman's has 2 locations in the county where the tradition of the finest meats are found in the region. Stop by Brenneman's Huntingdon weekdays from 8 to 6, Saturdays 8 to 3. Mount Union, open 9 to 5 weekdays and 9 to 2 on Saturdays. Choose specials of $10 to $50 meat packs containing your favorite meats. Or stop by and ask about our select custom cuts, prepared and packaged while you wait. Brenneman's Meat Markets in Huntingdon and Mount Union. Call our office at 814-643-2751 for specials and more information.
Mel's Concrete in Huntingdon has over 20 years' experience in providing you with quality concrete work. When you have any job dealing with concrete, call Mel Woomer at 643-0909. Mel's Concrete specializing in porches, patios, basements, sidewalks, and more. Mel's Concrete also specializes in snow removal. There's no job too big or too small when it comes to concrete. Call Mel's Concrete, LLC at 643-0909.
Back at Huntingdon High School gym, it's Dave Shannon with Bearcats basketball. Bearcats trailing by 3 at the half, 31-28. Do have a quick question for Greg Banks. Greg, turn your microphone on. Are you there?
Here I am. Yes, let me strap my headphones on, Dave. What's up, buddy?
Just wanted to make sure. Now, do we have Ike tonight?
We do not have Ike on this Wednesday night, but perhaps we have Ike tomorrow because Ike's making his way back from Houston, and so we are basically bumping him tonight. He was a little upset, Dave, and I was like, dude, it's Dave Shannon, man. He was here before you were. And he said, Dave who? But it's all right because it's Ike. He's never on time. No, I don't want to say that. Ike Taylor, by the way, joining us every week. They're looking at maybe a different way to get him on the air. He may be on once a week. We don't know what day. All we know is you will be able to hear him here on the airnetwork.net with Johnny Harris. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Normally Wednesdays at 10.
That's right. Tonight
obviously we got a little something going on here, but we weren't going to go up till 10 o'clock. That's for sure.
Yeah, rebroadcast at 10 tonight, our basketball game.
Yep. Here we go. We are underway in the second half of tonight's game. Bearcats to inbound, moving from left to right here in the second half, and almost turned over the ball right off the bat, but they still have control. Ball out at the midcourt area. Nick Rigby starts down the left side of the lane. A little hook shot. Nick Rigby has the first points of the second half and has the Bearcats within one. 31-30, Central over the Bearcats with 7.5 left to go in the third quarter. With the basketball, it's the Scarlet Dragons. Jacob Moodler over to Carstetter. Carstetter puts up a three and makes it. And there's the answer right off the bat, 34-30. Scarlet Dragons with the lead. Three-point attempt is up and no good from Jayton Smith. Nice save, keeping it from going out of bounds. Gets it out to Rigby. Rigby now goes down toward the baseline, tries to put up a shot, and he is fouled. And a foul called on Jacob Moodler. That's his first and team's first in the second half. Just 3 fouls in the first half on the Scarlet Dragons. At the line, Nick Rigby. Nick shooting 2, makes the first one. He has all the points for the Cats here in the second half. 34-31, Central with the lead. Second attempts off the back of the rim and no good, and the rebound is pulled down by the Scarlet Dragons. Jacob Moodler hands the ball off, and Kyle Dodson brings it over the midcourt stripe. Dodson dribbles inside the circle and now kicks it over in the right wing. Carstetter starts down, stops on the baseline into the right corner then. Pass goes back out, intended for McKnight, just barely keeps it under control, and Jacob Moodler starts things over again. Out nearly between the circles, Carstetter trying to go down on the baseline, it ends up being intercepted by Brandon Buchard, who picks up his first 2 points of the game. I think it was intended for Dodson, but it doesn't matter. It ends up in 2 for the Scarlet Dragons. And as the Bearcats try to move the ball around, foul called on Kyle Dodson. That's his third. Dodson with a total of 6 points in the first half, with 3 fouls, a key part of the Dragons' offense. Owen Lane inbounds the ball back to Jayton Smith, who was back in the central end of the court, and you're allowed to do that on that inbound play. Here's a baseline shot by Owen Lane. Won't go, and the rebound is pulled down by Preston Carstetter. Dodson brings it up over the midcourt stripe. We'll see how long Reggie Nevins goes with Dodson with those 3 fouls at this point. Pass down in the baseline, ripped away by Nick Rigby. Here come the Bearcats on a fast break. Owen Lane down the lane, puts it up, off the glass, no good, and a whistle blows and a foul called on the Scarlet Dragons. It's Josh McKnight picking up his first foul of the night, and team's third here in the second half, so a little bit of get-evenism maybe. Owen Lane off the front of the rim, not even really close. This is the first one of 2. 36-31, Central leads. Owen Lane makes the second one. 36-32. 5:50 left to go in the third quarter. Jacob Moodler with the basketball for the Scarlet Dragons over the midcourt stripe, drifting over around the right wing area, guarded by Jayton Smith. Now starts down the left sideline, or right sideline that is, all the way to the hoop, puts it up and in, knocks down Owen Lane in the process, and no foul called. Here come the Bearcats. What a runner with a jump emphasis on the end by Jonathan Price, picking up his first points of the second half. It's 38-34 in favor of Central. 5:14 left to go in the third quarter. Kyle Dodson with the basketball down in the left baseline. He then passes it back to Dodson, does Brandon Buchard. Struggle for the rebound down underneath, and eventually another shot missed, but that rebound pulled down by senior Matt Sellers. Sellers gets fouled as he tries to pass it back into the midcourt area, and then a technical foul is called.
Foul red, first thing, hold, foul red.
The technical foul, the hand grab, is on Josh McKnight, number 5, his second. And then Preston Carstetter, giving the referee some grief, picks up the technical foul, which will also be number 2 on him, shooting the technicals first. Matt Sellers. Maybe that's not the technicals, because Sellers was the one fouled with the grab. Made the first one, though. And that one goes off the back of the rim. No, that was the technical. And the hand grab results in an inbound play to the Bearcats. Nick Rigby inbounds to Jayden Smith, and he's out there between the circles. Back to Rigby, left wing. Coming out to take a pass, Sellers between the circles. Back to Rigby and eventually into the left corner for 3. Shot won't go for Jayden Smith, and the rebound pulled down by Kyle Dodson of Central. 38-35, Central up by 3 with 4.5 left to go in the third quarter. Dodson kicks it over on the left elbow. Back to Dodson on the right elbow. And the travel gets called. For a moment there, I didn't know that they were going to blow the whistle when they eventually did. Dodson had the ball, did one of those little jumps in the air and stepped back down, and, well, he was kind of doomed from that point on. And Dodson comes out of the game, and into the game for Central is Noah Mootler, obviously the brother of Jacob. Number 3 in for number 11. Matt Sellers. Owen Lane from the left elbow. Nice jumper. It's up and in. Owen Lane with 3 now in the second half. 38-37, a 1-point lead for the Scarlet Dragons. 4 minutes left to go third quarter. Jacob Mootler, left wing, dribbles over, kicks it down in the baseline, and the shot will not go. Rebound is up and back in for Josh McKnight. Buchard unable to make it. McKnight is, and that makes it 40-37. Down the left side goes Nick Rigby. Can't get the shot to fall, and in a struggle for the rebound, then it eventually comes to Central. There was an alley-oop pass, but not that wide open was Buchart. Then getting the rebound was McKnight. McKnight is then fouled in the act of shooting, and the foul's called on Rigby. That's Nick's third. And team's first in the second half. McKnight at the line, shooting 2, and that goes off the right side of the rim and no good. He's now 1 for 3 from the stripe. Next one's up and in. So he's now 2 for 4. Well, 1 for 2 on a foul attempt back in the first half, too. With the basketball, Jonathan Price gets it to Nick Rigby. Spin move on the right side of the lane. Bumped a little bit. Shot won't go. And then the ball eventually pulled in by Central. Mootler up over the midcourt stripe. From the left baseline, a shot's up by Smith for Central. Won't go. Rebound pulled down. Shot put back up by Brandon Buchard, and a foul called on the Bearcats. And a foul called on Owen Lane. That's Owen's first. Team second. 5 team fouls for Central so far in the second half. And the first shot by Buchard is up and in. And before he gets to shoot the second one, Nick Payne calls a timeout for the Bearcats. Be sure to join us on the airnetwork.net Monday Night Sports Talk every Monday, 7 to 8. It's available online on all mobile devices, and stay tuned for other ways that you can listen to Monday Night Sports Talk. Pirates, Penguins, Steelers, national, local stuff. Talk about the Bearcats from time to time as well. And we hope you plan on joining us. Jimmy Ty, Chad States, Greg Banks, and yours truly get together for these spirited discussions on sports. Monday Night Sports Talk exclusively in the airnetwork.net. At the line for the second of his foul shots. Buchard misses that one, and Owen Lane gets the rebound. 42-37, Central with the lead. With the basketball, Jonathan Price. Price in the right wing tries to go inside, and the pass is errant. But then on an attempted coast-to-coast, it's Brandon Buchart missing, and the ball then goes out of bounds off of Owen Lane. Subs for both teams into the game for the Cats. Will Selesky goes in, and Nick Rigby comes out. Good idea by Coach Spain to save him with those 3 fouls on him already. Inbound play goes to Dodson. He loses control. Still not under control. Almost a backcourt violation, and then, wow, Dodson backed into Jayton Smith and put him on the floor. Nothing called. And ending up getting the foul called on him, it is Jayton Smith. That's Jayton's first of the night and third on the team in the second half, and some substitutions for both teams as Nick Gerhardt comes in for Jayton Smith. And it's the inbound for Central. With the basketball, it is Mootler. Mootler goes to Carstetter, back to Joey Smith. Smith, top of the key, dribbles now right wing. Looks down, right corner. Carstetter comes out of there, goes across over toward the lane, puts up a shot, won't go. Joey Smith rebound, puts it back up, and it won't go. Smith has trouble getting the ball under control. Eventually Central does. Carstetter left corner, skip pass over. Mootler for 3, won't go, and finally the Cats get control. Jonathan Price gets it ahead. Nice job dribbling, and a shot taken by Nick Gerhardt won't go. Rebound pulled in by Sellers. He goes to the hole and is fouled. And a foul called on Josh McKnight, his third for the Scarlet Dragons. 42-37, 5-point lead for the Scarlet Dragons. Just under 2 left to go in quarter number 3, and at the line, Matt Sellers. Matthews' first shot's up and in. Second point of the second half, and once again from the foul line. Second shot's up and in. Sellers perfect from that charity stripe so far in tonight's game. 42-39, 3-point lead for the Scarlet Dragons, and 1:45 left to go in quarter number 3. Joey Smith, 2. Jacob Mootler. Mootler out near the midcourt circle. And they call the foul on Jonathan Price. Price in disbelief. It's his third. They call a grab on him. His third, team fourth. And coming back in will be Jayton Smith. Jonathan Price's backcourt partner, inbound by the Dragons. Moving from right to left here in the second half in their all red road uniforms. There's a pass that goes from Jacob Mootler to Josh McKnight. He started down the lane, and they called the foul on McKnight, his fourth. Well, they have it as his third here on the scoreboard, so I may be mistaken, but I had him with 4. We'll go with 3. And it is Bearcats basketball. Jayton Smith gets it to Nick Gerhardt, right wing. Smith and Gerhardt play catch. Gerhardt up near the top of the key. Ball just kind of rolling around on the floor. Eventually picked up, taken it over to the middle of the key. Shot put up by Matt Sellers. He makes it, and that makes it a 42-41 Central Scarlet Dragons lead. Minute left to go in the third quarter. And losing control of the dribble is Mootler with the steal, and going coast to coast. Jayton Smith puts it up and in, and the Bearcats have gained the lead, 43-42. Mootler rolls over Smith, and in an attempt to pass the ball back to somebody on the right wing, from the left side, it goes out of bounds to the Cats. Into the game, Hunter Leibel. A defensive substitution for the Scarlet Dragons. Bearcats up by 1, 43-42, with 43.4 left to go. Jayton Smith between the circles. Dribbles, comes over to his right, hands the ball to Nick Gerhardt. Back over the top of the key. Nick then gets it to Matt Sellers. Sellers into the corner to Owen Lane. Back out. Gerhardt to Sellers. Sellers back into the corner. Long three won't go. As Nick Gerhardt tried one from the left corner, and then Central loses control as the pass from Noah Mootler goes out of bounds to the Bearcats. And now there's going to be a discussion. That was right in front of Reggie Nevins. He didn't like the call. Stirred some reaction from the fans. All three officials gathered in front of the Central bench. And now Reggie Nevins being given a talking to by the lead official. It's going to be Bearcats basketball. And now the lead official giving the other one a final talking to. Yeah, it's kind of like being at school here tonight. All right, here we go. And now the Scarlet Dragons make some substitutions. 17 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Cats up by 1, 43-42. As back into the game, it's Jacob Mootler and Kyle Dodson. It ends up being Central basketball. Okie dokie. What do I know? The official was standing there pointing towards the Bearcats end, and it ends up being Central inbounding. Should have known by the substitutions that came in. Mootler with a deep three from the right wing. It goes, and it makes it 44-43. All right, we got 3 quarters in the books, and we got 1 more to go. Let's see what happens. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to Bearcats Basketball on the airnetwork.net.
Starting it off right by shedding those pounds and living a healthy lifestyle. Call Dr. Michael Simone at Simone Family Chiropractic and Weight Loss at 613 Washington Street, downtown Huntingdon, for a proven safe way to shed those extra pounds. Dr. Simone utilizes the doctor-supervised Chiro Thin weight loss program that helps you lose significant weight without exercise, expensive prepackaged foods, or diet shakes. It's real food with real results. Try the Chiro Thin plan on your way to a healthier you by calling Dr. Simone for a free consultation. Call 643-2616 for a happier you.
The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223 is the heart of the community. Becoming a member of the Huntingdon Moose enables you to join friends who have served the community for over 100 years. Join the women of the Moose for a ham pot pie dinner on Saturday, February 11th from 2 until 6 p.m. Then stick around for our St. Valentine's rock and roll dance with Backlash. Plus, check out our Friday food specials every Friday this month. The Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, serving the community with the best value in town.
And we're back at Huntingdon High School for quarter number 4, a 1-point lead. Central up 44-43. Central got the ball to start the fourth quarter. The Huntingdon bench wanted a travel called on Carstetter. They don't get it. Dodson ends up with the basketball. Tries a shot from the baseline. The whistle blows, and apparently Dodson stepped out of bounds. 7:40 left to go in the game. Cats down by 1. Up over the midcourt stripe, Jayden Smith. Smith dribbles right wing, goes over to Jonathan Price. Price behind the back, started down the lane, pulls back. Between the circles goes to Nick Rigby. Rigby now down the right side of the lane, kicks it over in the baseline to Owen Lane, eventually working its way back to Nick Rigby. Rigby with the ball, right wing 3, and he is short. Rebound goes to the Bearcats as it goes out of bounds off of Brandon Buchart. 7:11 left to go. Fourth quarter, 44-43 Central. With the basketball, Bearcats. Nick Rigby, right wing. Starts down toward the lane, pulls back, kicks it over. Matthew Sellers for a 3. The senior hits it. 46-44 Cats. 6:45 left to go in the game. Kyle Dodson with the ball for the Dragons. Kicks it over to Mootler. Jacob Mootler. As he eventually pulls back and passes to Kyle Dodson on the right side. Dodson starts down the right side of the key. Off the glass. Won't go. Rebound. Sellers had it. Lost control. Central ends up with it. Mootler with the basketball. Kicks it on the left side. Down the baselines. Carstetter. And a foul gets called on Central. No. That must have been a 5-second call. So it's the Bearcats with the basketball and 6:10 left to go in the game. And Nick Payne still not very happy with the officiating here. 6:07 left to go with the basketball. Jonathan Price kicks it over. Rigby on the left side of the lane, puts it up and in. It is 48-44 in favor of the Cats, and Reggie Nevins needs a timeout for his Scarlet Dragons, and he calls it. It is a 30-second timeout. Once again, want to thank the fine folks for bringing you Bearcat Sports broadcasts on the airnetwork.net. Presented by the Huntingdon Moose Family Center, number 223, Pennsylvania Highlands Community College. Other supporters of the game include All-American Pizza and Subs, Mel's Concrete, LLC, Dr. Michael Simone, and by Brenneman's Meat Markets. Thanks for listening to Bearcat Sports. They are exclusively in the airnetwork.net. As our regular season basketball coverage draws to a close, and once playoff seedings and things are racked up and made public, we'll see if we're going to be able to bring you more of both the Cats and if the Lady Cats move on. 5:40 left to go in the game. 48-44. Bearcats with the lead. Kyle Dodson flashes across the key, stops on the right side, and puts one up and in. 48-46. Dodson held quiet in the third quarter and walking around out there with 3 fouls on him. Down the lane. Layup is up and in. Jonathan Price. Fist pump from the head coach, Nick Payne, and the rest of the Bearcats on the sideline. A foul is added in, and that one called on Brandon Buchart. And that's only his first. Now team 8 on the Scarlet Dragons, and Buchart comes out. Joey Smith comes in. Jonathan Price now tries to convert the, as it has been said, traditional three-point play. And it goes off the front of the rim, back of the rim, and won't go down in. 50-46. Bearcats with the lead with 5:15 left to go in the game. Central with the basketball. Dodson left wing. Kicks it over. Down the left side, putting up a shot from the baseline is McKnight. And the Bearcats bring it back. 2-on-1. Rigby goes to Smith. Back to Rigby, and he puts it up and in. 52-46. It is the Bearcats up by 6, their biggest lead of tonight. 4:45 left to go in the game. Joey Smith, right baseline, kisses it off the glass and in. Smith picks up his first points of the second half. 52-48. Bearcats lead. Nick Rigby down the right side of the lane. Drags his foot, stops, kicks it over. Matthew Sellers, the senior, with his second three of the fourth quarter, and the Bearcats go up by 7, 55-48. With the basketball on the right side. Mootler kicks it out. Dodson starts down the right side of the lane, stops, puts up a shot, and a mugging on Nick Rigby. Nothing called. Ball just goes out of bounds to the Bearcats. As I'm right beside the Bearcats bench tonight, and I just got a clipboard swung at me. Well, actually, it was just put down firmly on the scorer's table. Down the left side, on the baseline, Owen Lane puts that one up and in. Bearcats up 57-48, and a timeout called by Reggie Nevins. 3:47 left to go. A 9-point lead and a full timeout this time around by Reggie Nevins of the Central Scarlet Dragons. Gives us time to talk about a couple of things. Got Ike Taylor here on the airnetwork.net. and we'll see how that proceeds. Stay tuned. Greg keeps you updated. Go to the main page at theairnetwork.net for any news about the Ike Taylor Show or Monday Night Sports Talk. We have that for you every Monday night from 7 to 8. Jimmy Ty, Greg Banks, myself, hopefully Chad States will be feeling well enough to join us in the not too distant future. And be sure to tune in. You know, if you want to hear this again, you can certainly do that. Coming up tonight, 10 o'clock, we will once again rebroadcast tonight's game between the Bearcats and the Central Scarlet Dragons right here in the airnetwork.net. Once again, that'll be tonight at 10 o'clock. There will not be a regular edition of the Ike Taylor Show. Stay tuned. Keep up to date. Bookmark that airnetwork.net page. Central to inbound the basketball. Preston Carstetter to inbound. Kyle Dodson backs into the Bearcats' end of the floor and takes the inbound pass and comes up over the midcourt stripe. Down toward the right wing. He kicks it over. Left wing, 3 up by Mootler. Won't go in the rebound. Pulled down by Jayton Smith. Up the floor. Matthew Sellers tries a deep 3 from the left wing, and it won't go. And Carstetter, eventually, he didn't want to bring the ball up the floor. He gets a pass to Mootler, and he ends up bringing it over. Pass goes inside. Joey Smith, nice spin move. Joey Smith does not carry a lot of weight. He is very tall, and he's very confident to the hole. The Bearcats open it up as Owen Lane on the fast break gets a shot up and in on the layup and draws the foul by Joey Smith. Smith's first, Central's 9th. And Owen Lane converts the traditional 3-point play. The Cats up by 10, 60-50. 3 minutes left to go in the game. Mootler goes to Carstetter, loses control. And there was a whistle there. And they're going to call that on Owen Lane. Owen picks up his second. And just a team's 5th here in the second half. 2:58 left to go. The inbound pass goes to Jacob Mootler. Mootler kicks it over left wing Dodson. Spin move and a quick pass to McKnight. Won't go. It's kind of blocked there by Sellers. And picking up the block shot, Smith. Smith ahead. They tipped it away from him from behind, but it went right to Jonathan Price. Down the lane with a runner. Puts it up and in, and the Cats are up by 12, 62-50. The Cats were trailing by 3 at the half, and now they're up by 12. Preston Carstetter tried to drive that one to the basket, and he is called for the foul as he knocked over Jonathan Price. Scoreboard has that as number 4 on Preston Carstetter. Team 10th. Bearcats will shoot 2 from the line the remainder of the game. Down the lane, off the glass, off the rim, through the cylinder. Jonathan Price makes another. Bearcats up by 14, 64-50 with 2 minutes left to go in the game. Jacob Mootler down the lane, tries to kick it back. Ball goes out of bounds. 2 Bearcats. Now just under 2 minutes left to go. Nick Rigby to inbound. To Jayton Smith, and Jayton brings it up the floor. A great team effort by the Cats tonight. Jayton Smith to Nick Rigby. Starts over on the right side. Pulls up, kicks it back. Jonathan Price out between the circles. Price looking to hand it off to Smith, and eventually does. Close defense out there. Jacob Mootler really hounding Jonathan Price. Jayton Smith gets it back to Price. Price pulls back on the left wing. Minute 28 left to go. Down the lane. Price dishes it to Owen Lane, who puts up the layup, and the Cats go up by 16. 66-50. Minute 14 left to go, and Dodson is fouled. by Jonathan Price. Price picking up his 4th, team 6th. And going back into the game for the Scarlet Dragons is Brandon Buchart. He replaces Josh McKnight. Kyle Dodson will inbound. And he gets it into Mootler. Jacob Mootler has to chase it back to the top of the key for the Bearcats, but he gets control and brings it over midcourt. Kicks it over to Buchart. Back to Mootler. Down the left side. Stops on the baseline. Puts one up. Won't go. Brandon Buchart trying to get the rebound. Eventually, Joey Smith comes up with it. Drives down the lane. Puts one up and draws the foul. Foul called on Owen Lane, now his 3rd. Team 7th.
Hey, watch your cross, guys! Hey, watch your cross!
Joey Smith at the line, shooting 2. Makes the first one.
Matt, watch your cross!
66-51, Bearcats with the lead. And a timeout called on the made shot by Reggie Nevins. And we'll take a timeout as well. It is a full timeout. And we do want to, once again, thanks to our sponsors. Bearcat Sports Broadcasts on the airnetwork.net, presented by Huntingdon Moose Family Center, number 223, and by Pennsylvania Highlands Community College. Other supporters of tonight's broadcast include All-American Pizza and Subs, Mel's Concrete LLC, Dr. Michael Simone, and by Brenneman's Meat Markets. Thanks for listening to Bearcat Sports. The extra noise you're hearing is that of pounding on the table by the scoreboard operator. Thanks for listening to Bearcat Sports, exclusively in the airnetwork.net. I'm Dave Shannon. Once again, a thanks to Greg Banks back at the studio for twisting all the appropriate knobs and making sure you will hear everything you need to hear to be an informed fan. Don't forget we have a restream, as we call it,
tonight
in the biz of tonight's game in the airnetwork.net coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. And we'll have any information on the postseason coming up Monday when we do Monday Night Sports Talk. Inbound play goes from Sellers to Jayton Smith, and the Dragons quickly foul. 51.8 left to go in the game. And the foul called on Jacob Mootler, just his 2nd of the night. 2 shots coming up for Jayton Smith. Smith was 1 for 1 from the line, misses the first one of 2. Into the game, Joey Smith, and coming out, Hunter Leibel was in on that defensive substitution stuff. And the second shot is up and in for Jayton Smith. 67-52, Cats by 15, 47 seconds left to go. Deep 3, Joey Smith can't get it to go. Rebound pops out to Dodson, goes down the lane, makes the shot, and I think they're going to hit up Rigby.
Nick, just stay on the floor.
Yep, Nick Rigby is called for his 4th. Dodson picks up 2. Into the game is Leibel again. Defensively for the Scarlet Dragons, Dodson will get to shoot 1 and makes the traditional 3-point play finish.
Hey, 2 guard. Rigby right there.
And the Bearcats to inbound with 41.3 left to go, up by 12. Inbound goes from Sellers to Rigby, and Rigby's fouled almost immediately by Preston Carstetter, who does the old palms open toward the ref like, what did I do? It's like, well, you kind of mugged him right in front of me, would be the correct answer. And by the way, that is foul number 5 on Preston Carstetter. Joey Smith will come in for Leibel. And eventually it's going to be Jacob Mootler who will be in the game for the now departed Preston Carstetter. Also out there for the Scarlet Dragons, Thad Albright. And at the line, it's Nick Rigby. Oh, my. Not the best roll in the world. That looked like that was going in, and it just rolled right out. Brandon Buchart comes in for the Scarlet Dragons, and Thad Albright out. Shot number 2 coming up for Nick Rigby. And Nick makes that one. Bearcats 68, Dragons 55. Down the floor, almost off the top of the backboard. Shot won't go for Dodson, but then following up, it's Joey Smith. He puts it up and in. And that'll make it 68-57. 11-point lead for the Bearcats, and a full timeout called by the Scarlet Dragons. As time dwindles down. Once again, congratulations to the Bearcats cheerleaders. And the fans begin the song made famous by the musical group Steam. Na, 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 na.
Na, 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 na.
Yep, that's
hey,
it. You got
hey,
it.
Hey. Goodbye.
Greg Banks, the master of the oldies.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And, the fans got that part of their celebration out of the way. And everyone has taken their break.
I'm the Sultan
and
of
on
saying
the floor for the Bearcats, senior Matthew Sellers, Jonathan Price out there, Nick Rigby, Jayton Smith, and the ball comes in. Wow, what a mugging by Leibel as he knocks Jonathan Price down. Leibel being called for his first, as I have it, and that's the way the scoreboard has it as well. Heading to the line, Jonathan Price, who scored 6 in the fourth quarter alone. See if he can make it 7. Off the front of the rim, won't go. Nick Payne, despite the fact that his team is up by 11 points here, 68-57, still concerned. Kind of thing, if you head into the postseason, we all know how critical those free throws are. That second one rims around a couple of times and eventually falls through. 26 seconds left to go in the game. 69-57, Bearcats lead. Joey Smith tries a long 3 past the top of the key, doesn't make it. In a scramble for the rebound, there's a foul called on the Central Dragons. And it's called on Noah Mootler. Mootler picking up his first and sending Jayton Smith to the line. Smith is 1 for 3 tonight from the line. Nope, make that 1 for 2. And make that a 1 for 3 now. Out of the game, senior Matt Sellers. Into the game, senior Andrew Watson. Jayton Smith has another from the line. He makes that one. He's 500 from the line for the night.
Wait, no fouls. They have no timeouts left.
And Coach points out that there's no more timeouts for Central, so don't bother fouling them and giving them any more time to try to get back into it, although the Cats are up by 13, 70-57. Jacob Mootler with the basketball, right wing, deep 3, doesn't hit anything. With a rebound, Jonathan Price over the midcourt stripe, stops. That'll do it. What a big win for the Bearcats, down by 3 at the half. Come back in the second half, really pull away here in the fourth quarter and end up winning this one by 13. The final score tonight, Bearcats 70 and the Central Scarlet Dragons 57. Once again, congratulations to Andrew Watson and Matthew Sellers, seniors, on Nick Payne's Bearcats basketball team as they got to celebrate senior night tonight. And we also want to congratulate those cheerleaders that are out there putting in the hard work. And, they were honored here as seniors before the start of tonight's game. It's been fun here in the regular season to bring you these basketball games on the airnetwork.net. Once again, be tuned Monday. And when we have Monday Night Sports Talk, we'll tell you what may be coming up for the postseason. That's going to do it for tonight. Once again, the Bearcats with a big win. Final score tonight, 70-57. They and Central now with identical records in the Mountain Conference, 9-5 for both after the win by the Bearcats tonight. Hey, once again, a big thanks for Greg Banks and all his fine work back at the airnetwork.net studios. That's going to do it. Thanks for listening tonight as well, and thanks for listening throughout the course of the season. This is Dave Shannon from Huntingdon Area High School, where the Bearcats pick up a 70-57 win tonight, saying good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Huntingdon Bearcat Basketball on the airnetwork.net. Tonight's game was presented by Huntingdon Moose Family Center 223, the heart of the community, and by Penn Highlands Community College, an affordable education close to home. The game was also brought to you by All American Pizza and Subs, Brenneman's Meat Markets, Simone Chiropractic and Weight Loss, and Mel's Concrete LLC. Join Dave Shannon again next time for more exciting Bearcat basketball here on the Air Network.